Hello. What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and Netflix is a funny thing. I just got done watching John Henry, which is a 2020 film that was on Netflix. I was sitting here bored. It came up. I guess their algorithm assumed that I would want to watch this movie. My history of watching bad films is catching up to me because now Netflix thinks that I want to watch these movies. This is a 2020 film that I had no idea came out this year. It's directed by Will Forbes, and the plot is, it's not about the original John Henry from the old slave days, and I mean, I very vaguely am familiar with the John Henry character and what he did as far as showing up to work and being that symbol of black men that are willing to stand up and do what they have to do. Like, I've heard about it. So this movie, I kind of thought, like, oh, maybe it's going to be his story. Maybe I'll finally get to know more about what this guy did and how important it was. But no, this is a modern day telling where John Henry it's a name that was given to Terry Crews in this movie. He was named after him, and he is somebody who's very strong. Very, very strong. I don't know if he has superpowers or if he just is lucky when it comes to not dying or being as strong as he is. He has a past of doing criminal acts and even killing somebody, just doing these things that he's not necessarily proud of these days, and he now has the chance to maybe do something right and save this young girl who was about to be sex trafficked, whatever you say, and he tries to save her and protect her, and the main villain just so happens to be his cousin, played by Ludacris. Yeah, this movie, if it sounds as ludicrous as it does out loud, hearing me say it, it probably is. Because this film has so many issues, so much wrong with it. First things first, I think making it a modern setting was a bad choice. I just didn't care to have this setting of the hood, and I guess they're in Compton or they're in some area where lots of gang violence happens. It's just, it feels like we've been there, done that, and we've been there, done that so much better and so many more better movies than what this is. And just, it felt like a missed opportunity to really dive into this character. I hear that The Rock is doing his own John Henry film with Netflix, so maybe that will touch on to the more accuracy and go back in time and do it with that. Terry Crews, I think that sometimes it's hard to take him seriously because of roles like in White Chicks or movies where he's very good at playing goofy and silly and over the top. He's funny at it. And so when you get a film where you have to take him seriously, it always takes me a little bit to get there. But he's good in the movie, though. He's good in the role that he's given. He is serious. He has this really deep voice, probably the deepest I've ever heard his voice, and I had to get used to that. But my problem, though, is that his character's kind of dull after a while. There's not a whole lot going on with him. The story seems to be more about this girl who was kidnapped and her brother who's trying to save her and protect her. John Henry's just kind of there in the background. If you watch the trailer, which I did after the fact, after watching the movie, his main signature weapon is this hammer. And he's supposed to be a badass. He's supposed to use the hammer to do things. There's not a whole lot of action in this movie. The action with him using the hammer doesn't happen until the last 10 minutes. I'm serious. This movie's like an hour and a half long. And it's not until the 120 mark where he finally takes his hammer and goes out there to beat up some bad guys. I was so bored. I was bored to tears by this movie and sitting here waiting for something substantial to happen, waiting for something that I actually cared about to happen. And it sucked. It sucked because I feel like there was something interesting that could have happened here. I feel like there was something that could have gone the right way. Having a character that wants to stay out of trouble, just can't help but have trouble come to him. Him being so big and capable, but wanting to be peaceful. Like, there's decent elements there. Sure, we've seen it before. We've been there before. Hell, I just saw that in Last Blood with Rambo. You know, like, again, we've done this so many times, and I just think it was lazy ultimately in what they were doing. I was bored, like I said. Didn't care about the music. Didn't care about, you know. Look, you had some decent actors in there, like Ken Foree. Ken Foree plays John Henry's father, and I like him as an actor a lot. I think all of his scenes were enjoyable, amusing. He played it very well. Whether it was just him improvising, it felt like, compared to the other writing in the movie and other dialogue that everyone else said, he felt like the one real, live, believable character that could actually exist. Just his demeanor, his joking around, him talking about himself and his previous sexual prowess. I just was like, okay, I like this guy. I want to see more of him. The villain, like I said, is played by Chris Ludacris Bridges. I've never really thought that Ludacris was a good actor. He might be decent in the Fast and Furious movies, passable, but there's a reason why he's not the main character. There's a reason why he's not that much the center of the focus. And this is the reason why he doesn't have a whole lot of his own stories to go on, because I don't think he can carry it, honestly. Other movies that I've seen him in, I haven't been impressed. Here, he's front and center as the main villain, and I wasn't impressed either. Sure, he doesn't get a whole lot of scenes. He's supposed to be the main villain, but like I said, they spend so much time with the girl and her brother, and then John Henry trying to help them, that it's just a couple scenes of Ludacris being villainous, being evil. He's sitting on a throne, literally sitting on a throne, showing that he's the king now of the streets, and I just thought it was very cliched, very generic, non-intimidating. He has this metal piece on his jaw that's supposed to make him look menacing. It just reminds me how cheap this movie looks, because the effect, the prosthetic, didn't look all that great. He has this like blowtorch where he's supposed to burn people because his character's name is Hell. Very subtle. Hell. Like, really, who wrote this goddamn script? Who came up with the names for a character like this, a villain like this? Hell. But the problem, though, is that you don't even really see him kill anybody. You hint at it, you cut away from it, but is he really all that intimidating? Is he really all that? It's like, I don't see it. I don't buy him in this role. You have some flashbacks of how the two of them came up the ranks, how John Henry was his bodyguard, or his muscle, his heavy, and he took care of business for him. And Ludacris always had aspirations to be the king. Again, what comes with that? He just sits there all day on a throne, and he's supposed to be big, bad, and cool. I just wasn't really buying it. In the end, when the action did happen, when John Henry finally did something, finally had some action scenes, yeah, sure, they were decent, but it was literally the last 10 minutes. I didn't care enough by the time that the action did happen to really be invested, to really care. I am going to give this film some old bullshit.
Man, this some old bullshit.
I wasn't angry. I wasn't pissed. I wasn't sitting there going, man. But I was bored. I was unimpressed. I was wishing that maybe I didn't take the chance to watch this, albeit for an hour and a half. Not really worth the watch, people. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you have already seen John Henry. What do you think of it? Or did my review successfully deter you from thinking about seeing it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Man, this year sucks so far for movies. Later.